This is the 2024 Moab Hard Enduro, and I'm Trailbound Chris. Right now we've got Cody Webb in first place coming into the Strike Ravine hill climb. So this is not the very beginning of the race. It's probably the second pro split. And coming out to this race and checking out this section, it was not burned in. So it's cool to see these guys put fresh tracks on this and find the lines. Cooper Abbott, second place, but not far behind, is Quinn Wentzel, making this trip from Ohio. And you can see that they're able to make up a good amount of time on each other. You can see Quinn just making his way, getting closer and closer. If you can get a good line through this, you can really cover a lot of ground. These rocks are pretty sandpapery and grippy, but the ground is just so loose and chundery that if you start spinning, it doesn't want to give you traction. But you can see, look at that traction on that rock slab. That was some grippy sandpaper. Brandon Petrie pushing through. We got fourth place, and then James Flynn in fifth. We're probably, I don't know, half an hour into the race, and these guys are working their way up this, moving around on this big hill climb, getting some different angles, and you can just see how you can push your way up through it. And then at the very top, you've got this sick little slab chute from a dead stop. Just a great way to end it after pushing your bike up the hill. James Flynn on that beta. I think IRC formed a team, and they got James and Jack Wilford on that team. Got the Hawaiians here. You can see matching bikes, matching gear, looking good out there. I think they've been top 15 at least in pro class, which is pretty awesome to see them kind of come up from, the A. They're just riding A before, I feel like, and already top of the pro field. Got Riley Bender. He's been crushing the A class this year. I feel like Cody Webb kind of took him under his wing and has been riding out with him in Colorado and training with him. So he's been riding really good. So here's a zoomed out view of that hill. Now you can see it's starting to back up with the A riders and some of the pro riders also kind of mixed in. This guy crushed this hill climb. Look at how much time he makes up on the guy on the right. Those guys were doing switchbacks trying to get up it. But if you can get this hill climb, you'd save quite a bit of time. Here's our friend Josh Prigham pushing his way up through this sucker. He was training on a 125 quite a bit this year, and he still races the 300 and does hard days on the 300, but kind of a fun little tech training style to ride a 125 where you really got to rev the crap out of it and then get on the tractor 300. Now you can see Cody Webb has started to lap guys here. I haven't been here for very long. Probably, I feel like I've only been here for 45 minutes. So he's making some pretty fast lap times, working his way through this stuff like no other. So now I've moved to a different section here. This is right before, I want to say, check 3. It's the strike tool area. And this is the kind of the one hard part of this section. You got these little skipping stone rocks that are super cool that you get through. Josh is the only one that I really saw take this left line. Maybe it got more broken in later, but most guys were going right and hitting the ledges. Quinn Wentzel making the pass on, look at Eddie right here. Look at how you can get onto these sandpaper stones and creep through them, even though it's uphill. Really sick. It's cool to see how low of RPM these guys use. The top pros are able to use and get through this stuff without spinning tire until you lose complete traction. Then you just got to go for it. Lucas Eddy getting the traction, yeah, making up for super hard. Now Brandon Petrie is working his way. This is the section that's pretty tricky. The swing arm, look how he's keeping that front wheel up and trying to sneak through it. I feel like when it's a really wedged out section, if you can keep that front wheel up, your bike can sneak through it a lot easier if you can just pivot through and get through it. Cooper Abbott made it up that really clean. Check out the long leg action. Wow, that's amazing. If I my short legs, I would have high-sided that sucker for sure. Oh, we got Nick Pooch going with the body slam. James Flynn, he made up this pretty clean. That bait is looking real nice. Making quick work, passing some A-riders, and pushing through. I think he's still in 5th place there. So this guy, he's doing really good. Holding some traction, getting up this thing, but just wait for it. Gets maybe a little too much traction, maybe a little too whiskeyed out here. That's tough. Tough. A lot of backtracking there. That's really heartbreaking. So Cody Webb on black flag. This is the final. I'd call it like the extra credit section of this race. So once you've made 3 laps, then you get to do this extra credit section before the finish line, which is really hard and really gnarly. So really most riders, except for the top A and the top pro, are going to be able to do this section. You can see they drop down the canyon, they start switchbacking to the other side. I did the course walk on this, and it was not really a trail. It wasn't burned in. So Cody Webb's putting the first Cody tracks down on that one. And then once they work their way around the canyon edge, everyone's watching. This entire black flag section is really cool. And we've got some big boulders at the end to finish. So let's check out this final wall ride setup. That's the only rider that I saw do that ledge at the top. Most people were going around it, so that was sick. First place for Cody Webb at the Moab Hard Enduro. So this isn't a premier round of the US Hard Enduro series. So we don't have like all the top hitters like Tristan Hart, but you do have, we got some good riders show out for this first race. Quinn Wentzel is really close to keeping up with Brandon Petrie, maybe making the pass. And you can just see these guys work through these big boulders, trying not to fly off the cliff edge. Cooper Abbott is on the other side of the canyon, so he's probably 3 minutes back. So I'm not sure if he will make it, but these two battling, Quinn and Brandon, I think that it's pretty close, depending on how hard you could push or if there's a mistake made. I could easily see Switchback doing a pivot turn over this and just losing the bike off that cliff edge, but these guys are pros. They're able to hold on their bike for these long hours and get through it. Here we got this. That was a sick pivot turn. You got to undercut. Can't really tell. Well, you can see how far that back tire goes under. And before getting around to this final section, Quinn Wentzel, pro trials rider in the past, and really cool to see how he is able to ride this technical stuff. No dabs. That was so sick. I love seeing trials riders make hard enduro races look good, because honestly, it's really hard to to look good racing hard enduro, because you just want to drag your feet and not stand up because it's so tiring. But these guys are pros, and they're able to hold these long races. They made it pretty fast. I feel like this is I'd say the top 4 made it between 2.5 to 3 hours. James Flynn in 5th place here, probably coming in right around 3 hours up that slab. And then behind them, I'd say like 5th through 18th probably took about 3 to 5 hours through the race with that section. And then 20th through 30th was probably 5 to 6.5 hours. And then 6.5 hours is the cutoff time for everyone to get off the course. So Cooper Abbott making his way to that finish line. So a lot of, not very many riders made it to this section. I think Josh Brigham actually, right here, he was the last rider. He's in the AVET class, A30 class. He was able to make it in that 6.5 hour mark. He was able to get through all the checks. So props to him for pushing hard and getting through this stuff.
There's a trailbound fix for you.
What is it? Oh, I love that.
Heck yeah.
Enduro method, Josh Rumpel. He said he went over the bars, had a pretty gnarly crash, and busted the starter. He wasn't even sure if he was going to ride the rest of the race, slow and be able to get his bike started. But he was able to push through the Charlie horse pain. I think his leg felt like it was dead, and figured out he could hot start his bike. You can see some of these obstacles you just gotta chuck your bike sometimes, because some of you either gotta chuck your bike up it or you gotta try to do a slow sneaky line, and sometimes the slow sneaky lines can bite you in the butt just as bad as the center lines. You can see a good view of this Moab terrain. It's not your typical Moab crazy rock slabs, but it is a great spot for a race. It kind of reminds me of King of the Hammers, maybe a little bit more slabby than Hammers, and maybe I don't know, maybe a little bit more ledges and slightly more technical, but the same, beat you down, relentless, not a lot of time for rest. I heard a lot of A riders were really stoked on this race, and riding for how many riders it took to do the 6.5 hours, it just really evened the playing field and made it more of an enduro, like real life situation. Like, a lot of these races have been like 2.5 hours, and it's just kind of more of a sprint. So it's been awesome to see just like such a long, hard race, and that really separates people. We got Bevan from Enduro Trash. He's in the Trailbound tugger strap that he threw on right before the race in the 4-stroke class. He's got some sick trial skills, so it was cool to be able to see him set it up on the 4-stroke. We got Justin on the TM. Also, always cool to hear a little bit different bike out there. Nick Pooch coming through on one of the shorter Czech pro splits. So I've been out from a shoulder surgery. I separated my shoulder with a pretty bad race and had surgery, so I've been out for like 5 months just doing tons of PT and working on the shoulder, lots of road biking miles. But yeah, hope to get back to it. But it was fun running around through the terrain and getting clips. Dylan Neiman pushing through the final 6 hours and 20 minutes, getting it done. So proud of her for getting 4th in amateur women. Big turnout for the women class, probably 13 riders, which is awesome. We've got a guy on a beta picking up chicks with this seat on the front. No idea what he's doing, but if you have any idea, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this video, guys. It was fun to get out there, run around, and check out this race. Hope to be back on the bike soon, so we'll see you at the next one.